What up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron. Let me go ahead and get in on the stream. Howdy, howdy. Laurel, 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 Yanni, 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 Laurel, 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 Yanni, Laurel, Lonnie, Lonnie, Donnie, Donnie, what? Donnie, Lonnie, Doral, Hardy, Coral, Wreath. One person already bailed. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Fuck this. Durka, Durka, Yanni, Durka, Jilly, Daniel, Wizard John, David, Lonnie, Daniel, DC, Marsha, Laurel, Yanni, Donnie, Frederick, Jennifer, Joseph, Edwin, the Sex Pistols, Lonnie. It's so dumb. Who gives it? Do you hear? Oh, what color is Yanni and Laurel's dress? I don't know. Remember the dress? What color was the dress? Do you hear Yanni or Laurel? I want to say Lonnie. Lonnie and Daryl. Do you hear Lonnie or Daryl? You know what my favorite one is? I'll tell you. Lucy. Lucy. Let's see if he gets her attention. Lucy. 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 She's tired, man. She just had her breakfast. And she don't give a, yeah, she's chill. She's just like, she's just hanging out. She's not hanging with me. I mean, she's hanging out, but not with me. Lucy just had her breakfast, and she's like, up, time to lounge. I'm lounging. Lounge time. We're at about 28. So until we get to 30, I'm just going to do the Lonnie Laurel thing again. Yanni. Did anyone, what did you guys hear? I heard Laurel very distinctly. I heard Laurel. It was very distinct to me. I don't know what you guys heard, but let me know. But now you're going to hear some news. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? You can tweet me an article at Ron Flacone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? Getting our news on today. Yeah, 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 yeah. Welcome officially to Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. Balthazar made me laugh in the middle of the theme song because Balthazar proposed that there's a Rachel Maddow version of the Yanni Laurel thing, and her version goes like this. Russia, 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 Russia. Love it. Love it. Good to see you guys. Good morning. Happy Thursday. This is the first show this week, well, second show this week where I don't have a guest. I know that we had a weird schedule this week. We were finally back to normal. Yesterday we were back to normal at our 10 a.m. slot, and Angelica joined us, which was a really good time. I hope you guys had a good time with that guest. I know I did. Very informative. Wishing her the best. Hope she pulls off a victory. Yeah, all right. Let's go to some news. And, oh wait, we got a question. Oh, and today's question, so Gloomy Goblin wanted us to do this. She wanted me and Lee Camp to do this. I did not get to the question, which I felt very bad about. But I decided we should make it the question for today because I knew we weren't doing a question on Wednesday because we had our guest Angelica here. So here's the question for today, guys, and what she wanted to talk about. And we can extend this to everybody's primaries. But in particular, I'm going to talk a little bit about California because I live here. I know some of you guys live in California, some of you don't. But Gloomy Goblin wanted to talk about the primaries, and in particular, who folks were voting for, who I endorsed. Oh, it turns out it's based on your speakers and audio card, Balthazar says. Thank you, Balthazar, for the Super Chat contribution and the info. I heard Laurel. I don't know what that says about me. But DC pointed out that the higher frequency, you'll hear Lonnie. And I don't know which one you need for Lucy, but that's the one I'm interested in. I want to hear that one. You should have a Russiagate Red Scare song. I will work on that. Yeah, I will work on that. That sounds fun. We had that one poem that was submitted to us that I really enjoyed. So the question today is... The question today, and we'll get into some more net neutrality stuff too. The question today is, what are you guys thinking for the primaries? Who are some of the folks you're excited about? And what are some things on the ballot that you're stoked about or not stoked about? What are you unsure? But, you know, just kind of your 411, if you will, on the primaries. And people ask me who I'm voting for, and... I'll be totally honest, in some regards, I'm not decided yet. Especially when it comes to Senate. We have 3 progressives in the race. All 3 of them are great. All 3 of them have been on this show. All 3 of them are very qualified. And it's a weird situation that we're in. I don't think it's a good thing. I know some people are saying it's a good thing because it gives progressives a deeper bench. And why couldn't they have all just run for different things, though? You know what I mean? Platypus puts out, younger people hear Yanni. Sorry, Ron. Well, Platypus, I am not young. And you know that about me. I am cursed, and I've been 27 since the year 1933. And now I have to tell you guys why. I've been 27 since 33. What the hell does society want from me? I've been 27 since 33, cause age is just a myth to me. I've been 27 since 33, you can say I'm an old soul. I've been 27 since 33, and I still need rock and roll. Robbie went down to see the devil, said you wanna go down too. I said, Robbie, that seems a little bit heavy for me, but you do you. 3 drinks later, I was there by his side. He said, hey, Ron, you wanna go for a ride? I said, look, Robbie, I just wanna make it through. 27 since 33. I've seen it now, but not all seen me. I've been 27 since 33. Someday I'll get that vasectomy. I've been 27 since 33. On my brain, it takes its toll. I've been 27 since 33, and I'm never growing old. Robbie said, hey devil, I wanna be the best that there'll ever be. The devil said, look fool, I can do that for you, but you gotta do something for me. You'll be the best there'll ever be, but at 27 you'll die. And your friend over there with the long red hair, he'll be the same age forever. He'll be the same age forever. He'll be the same age forever that he is tonight. 27 since 33. I've been 27 since 33. I've been 27 since 33. I've been 27 since 33. So there you go. I've been 27 since the year 1933, so it would make sense that I heard Laurel. But, yeah. So, getting back to the primaries. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of what's going on with all of these awesome progressives, but only 2 of them can make the runoff. And, of course, we got Kevin De Leon and Dianne Feinstein, who are the opposite of the progressives. Oh, you checked out Bleach, Daniel? Good. Yeah, they're really good. Can I go over the California primary ballot? Yeah, I mean, I was hoping we'd go over it together. Hey, Ron, was net neutrality saved? Hold that thought. Let's talk about the primaries first, and then we're going to talk about, we'll do another net neutrality thing. Eric, you are voting Allison Hartson. All right, California. Let's pull up a good guide here. Primary 2018. Let's Google progressive guide and see what comes up. Because I've honestly not looked at. Here's a progressive guide. This is from the San Diego Free Press. Progressive Voter Guide. This is for the County of San Diego. Let's see who they're calling for. Oh, and they recommend Kevin De Leon. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and move on from this one. Yeah. But yeah, I kind of take those guides as a grain of salt and just sort of, use my own judgment. I mean, I can tell you some of the people I want to see have victories. I want to see Angelica be a victor. I want to see Kenneth Mejia win, and I think he's got a good shot. He's over in the 34th. I want to see Kenneth Mejia. I want to see Maria Estrada. I want to see. Let's see. I want to see Delane Easton. She's, I think, evolved a lot. And even though when she did this show, we didn't agree on everything, I still think she's the right choice for California. And I want to see her. And as far as Senate, I just want to see at least one of those 3 progressives make the cutoff. I want to see Hildebrandt, Hartson, and or Pat Harris. I want to see 2 of them make. Oh, Gal McLaughlin. Yeah, I really want to see Gal McLaughlin. And yeah, that's pretty much my wish list. Those are pretty much the people that I want to see pull a victory. And I might be forgetting some good progressives. I apologize. But I can't remember every district just off the top of my head. But yeah, Gail's a big one. Gail has a history of fighting. She's running for lieutenant governor. Gail McLaughlin has a history of fighting big oil and winning. She took on Chevron in her town and she won, which is great. And I'd love to get her on the show. BT Dubs Pasta, if you're out there, I would like to see Gail on the show. That'd be awesome. The closer we get to the elections, Ron, we need a national list of who to vote for. Many of us are not savvy about what's happening / who to vote for. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I'm certainly not fluent in every race everywhere across the country, but I would just say the best thing to do. The one thing I like to do is I like to go to guides that I trust, like something, like if DSA had a guide, I would use that. If Green Party had a guide, I would use that. I mean, the progressive guide I just Googled just for the heck of it. Obviously it wasn't a very good one. They endorsed Kevin De Leon. Kevin De Leon was in bed for Hillary before the primary even happened. He takes corporate money unapologetically. He's not a progressive. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And, the biggest, my biggest fear is that those are the two that are going to make the runoff. It's going to be De Leon and Feinstein, which are bad choices. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where we're at. So yeah, as far as like who you're going to vote for, use your judgment, and vote for who you think is the strongest candidate. Don't be voter shamed. Don't be intimidated. And yeah, I told you guys the list of people that I like, that I want to see win. If you're in their districts, please consider them. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that. And I'd like to see, moving on, bigger picture, I would certainly like to see Tim Canova pull out a victory. But that'll be later because he's running as an independent. And yeah, check people's donors like Mike recommends. Gail McLaughlin has an awesome list of progressives. And again, those are supposed to serve as a resource, something to give you a point of reference. But do your own legwork, do your own digging. Eric Reinberg, I'm not super familiar with Eric Reinberg, but I'll certainly look into it. I mean, the way I do it is, I try to find a guide I trust as a point of reference, and then I do my own research from there. I'll research the other people. I'll, research why one person is endorsed over another person, and then I'll go from there, and then I'll decide who I want to vote for. If there's nobody that I feel I can cast a vote for, then I don't vote. I leave that one blank. I'm not going to just vote for somebody that I feel is a corrupt candidate or that takes corporate money. I just don't give my vote away like that. I might have been a little more lenient like that in the past, but those days are over. I don't, if there's nobody I feel like I want to vote for, then I just don't vote for them. I don't vote for anybody. So that's what I do, and maybe you don't do it that way, and that's fine. You have the right to vote. You also have the right not to vote, as Servant of Versailles points out. So yeah, that's how I do it now. And my one big rule of thumb: you take corporate money, you don't get my vote. You don't support single payer, you don't get my vote. If you do both of those things, I'm certainly listening, and we take it from there. And some people would call that an unreasonable purity test. I call it a very reasonable test. I call it a bare minimum of entry. It's amazing the things we tolerate in politics that we wouldn't tolerate anywhere else. Like people that are like, oh, you don't. They take corporate money, so you won't. That's so unreasonable. How is that unreasonable? If you had, let's say you were at a restaurant and somebody served you a cup of coffee and the cup of coffee had shit in it. And you were like, hey, I'm sorry, this cup of coffee has shit in it. Why is there shit in my coffee? And the server goes, I'm flawed, and there's this guy at the bar that doesn't like you, and he gave me $30. What can I say? Would you be like, oh, well, I'll still write you a good Yelp review. I get it. You needed the money. Would you tolerate that? Would you go back there? Would you give them a positive Yelp review? No, you wouldn't. But in politics, we accept it. We accept, oh, yeah, you're going to accept money from this entity and do their bidding instead of the bidding of the voters. You're going to throw the voters under the bus, but that's what you have to do. And what can you say? You're flawed. You're a flawed candidate. You're not a flawed candidate. A flaw is when you have a bad temper in traffic. That's a flaw. Taking corporate money and doing corporations' bidding instead of the bidding of the voters, that's a choice. That's a conscious choice. And if that's the choice you make, I don't want to vote for you. Because you're not a public servant. You're not a public official. You're a corporatist stooge. And you made that choice. You chose to be that. Nobody made you do that. You chose that. And that's not an unreasonable purity test. That's a minimum barrier to entry. And people that don't see it as anything but, like, what? Oh, come on, Ron. And if you think that's an unreasonable purity test, you're willing to drink a cup of shit coffee. That's what you're saying. You're willing, hey, I get it, $30. All right, here's my shit coffee. I'm going to enjoy it. So that's what I have to say about that. Let's move on to some news stories. All right, David wants to share this, a tweet thread, not an article, relevant to yesterday's net neutrality news. All right. So let's go through it. Net neutrality is meaningless when the net is owned by a few multinationals. Users are screwed. Either way, I disagree. I actually disagree with that statement. Net neutrality is a pro-corporate progressive bait and switch that channels away energy from regulating internet as a public utility. That's actually false. That's not true. That is not a true statement. Need net utility, not net neutrality. Now you're just having a battle over words, and a pointless one at that. Number one, FCC should regulate the internet as a public utility under Title II of the Telecommunications Act. That's what net neutrality does. That's exactly what net neutrality does. That's what net neutrality does. Take a look at progressive pushers of net neutrality. They take money from Silicon Valley. That's probably true of some of the people supporting net neutrality, yes. Are there some odd bedfellows in net neutrality? Yes. Does that mean you shouldn't support it? No. There is little pushback from the left on the corporate nature of net neutrality. That's an incredibly broad generalization that does not apply to everybody. Who are you referring to when you say the left? But, okay, all right, I don't have time to read this whole thing. We're worse off. A lot of people say we're worse off with net neutrality. That's, yeah, if you, David, if you endorse what this Yasha guy is saying, yeah, I strongly disagree. Yeah, I strongly disagree with this thread. In fact, this thread is, this thread is, oh, you guys are saying that we're buffering a little bit. That sucks. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, we're getting red. We're in the red on the stream. Okay, we should be back to the, oh, no. Yeah, we're getting a weak stream here. That's ironic. That's really ironic as soon as we go into net neutrality. All right. Wow, we're going red again. Okay. All right. We'll give this a few minutes and then we're just going to yeah, I guess Wi-Fi's acting up today. Alright, are we back? It's saying it's green on my end now. Oh, and now it's yellow again. God damn it. Yeah, this might not recover. Alright. Alright, so we're better for right now. Hopefully this stays, but over on my OBS system, it looks like things are going in and out the whole time. Oh, it's doing it again. Alright. There is a certain beautiful irony there that as soon as we started talking about net neutrality, we had buffering issues. That's really ironic. Edwin, it looks like you're... Alright, Edwin and David. Yeah, okay, David. So we're looking at this Twitter thread that I strongly disagree with. I don't know if you agree with this, but I strongly disagree with it. And this Yanni person, or Yasha, excuse me, who I'm not familiar with, they are incredibly wrong about net neutrality. They have demonstrated that they don't understand what net neutrality is in our country. You know, and I'm sure their heart's in the right place. I'm sure they, you know, are well versed in a lot of this, but their conclusions, I think, are completely off. Yeah, I don't know if you shared it because of that or if you agree with it. If you do agree with it, I encourage you to kind of look at it differently, and I'll explain why. Let's see. So we'll go through this again. Net neutrality is meaningless when the net is owned by a few multinationals. Users are screwed either way. That's not true. I mean, that's like saying, well, anyway. Yeah, that's just a profoundly, I mean, that's a basic, like, oh, well, we're screwed either way, man. I mean, it's, yeah. I'm not even going to give that lip service because it's just a profoundly ignorant statement. Net neutrality is a pro-corporate progressive bait and switch that channels away energy from regulating the internet as a public utility. That is just false. That is just a false statement. That is straight up false. Like there's no... Net neutrality designates the internet as a public utility. That's what net neutrality does. So that right there is just a... I mean, the whole thing, like, well, the internet is owned by a few multinationals anyway, so we're screwed either way. Like, okay. I mean, that's just like... So that's not true. What that person just said, what Yasha Levine said, net neutrality is a pro-corporate progressive bait and switch that channels away energy from regulating the internet as a public utility. No, that's not true. Net neutrality designates the internet as a public utility. It's not pro-corporate at all. Keep in mind, Tom Wheeler, a cable lobbyist, fought it. He didn't want to do it. We forced him. The public forced him. He didn't want to do it. We need net utility, not net neutrality. You're just getting bent out of shape about words. I mean, net neutrality is just what it's been called for years and years. You're just really nitpicking something that's just totally unnecessary to nitpick. The FCC should regulate the internet as a public utility under Title II of the Telecommunications Act. That's what net neutrality did. That's what we used to have. You just poo-pooed net neutrality while making a pro-net neutrality statement. All right, the FCC has to reclassify services like Facebook, Google as telecommunications services. Yes, they do need to do that. Absolutely. That's what needs to happen next. But first, we at least need net neutrality protections. Oh, and by the way, this thread is from 2017. Net neutrality promoted by Silicon Valley groups like Fight for the Future is a pro-corporate distraction that sucks oxygen out of the room. Take a look at the progressive pushes to net neutrality. They take money from Silicon Valley. So those two kind of go together. Is there some truth in that? Yes, absolutely. There are definitely some net neutrality groups that... Are we already buffering again? Yeah, all right. So it's happening again. All right. All right. Cool.